All right, welcome back. Day 5 of our notes. This one's a little bit different today. We're going to be talking about solving quadratic equations using square root functions. In this particular video, what's really kind of important to notice here, now all of these have equal signs, all of the problems, and if you look, all of them just have one x in all of them. Here's an x, here's an x, here's one, here's one, here's one, and here's one. So when you are solving and you see just one x, whether it's squared, whether it's inside of parentheses with a square, it doesn't matter. You're just trying to get x by itself. And the reason we say that we're going to be solving using square roots is because we will be using a square root to actually get the x by itself. So let's just take a look at this first one. First one, I need to get the x by itself, so I want to use a square root. So the first thing I want to do is divide by 4. When I divide by 4, I'm going to get x squared is equal to 4 into this is 32. Now, in order to get rid of this, I need to take the square root of both sides. But when I do that, I have to remember I'm taking the square root, so you've got to have a plus and a minus. There are going to be two answers. So you've got to make sure you find the plus and the minus. Here we're going to say it's a plus and a minus, and then I need to simplify the square root of 32. Well, the square root of 32 is really 16 times 2, 16 being a perfect square. So we're going to take that 4 out. That means it's going to be plus or minus 4 root 2. And this would be our solution to the first one. Let's take a look at the next one. Same idea. The only difference is there's just a little more going on with this one. So I still need to get the x by itself. So I got to get rid of everything around the x, starting with the plus 5. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 5 to both sides. When I subtract 5, I'm going to get 88. Then I want to get the x by itself. I got to get rid of the negative 2. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. When you divide by negative 2, you're going to get negative 44. Then I want to take the square root of both sides, and I need a plus minus here. So you got to make sure you have that plus minus. When you take the square root of both sides, you're going to get plus or minus. Now, we're going to deal with the I in one way, and we're going to deal with the 44. We got to simplify that. So if we think about it, this is really negative 1 times 4 times 11. 4 is the perfect square number we can take out. We deal with negative 1 by using an I. So this is going to be 2 coming out, I, and then square root 11. And this would be our answer to this one. There are two answers, a positive 2i root 11 and a negative 2i root 11. Let's take a look at this next one. Same idea. I got to get the x by itself here. So I'm going to add 16 to both sides. When I add 16, I'm going to get 50. Then I need to divide by 2. When I divide by 2, I'm going to get 25. Then I want to take the square root of both sides with a plus minus here. And when I get done doing that, I'm going to find that this is x is equal to, we're going to have plus or minus, square root of 25 is 5. So this would be our answer. Now, we can check an answer like this. Take your 5, plug it back in here. This is going to be 5 squared, which is 25, times 2, which is 50, and subtract 16, that gives you 34. And if you put the negative one in, it will work as well, because negative times a negative makes positive. So that's why we have to have two answers here. Let's look at the next one. Same idea here. I have 1x. I just want to get the 1x by itself. So first thing I want to do here, I want to get rid of the 2 on the outside. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. When I do that, I'm going to get x minus 8. All of that is being squared is equal to 100. Now, I need to get rid of the squared, so I'm going to take the square root. Do that on both sides, remembering that I have a plus minus situation here. That means then that I'm going to get x minus 8 is equal to, this is going to be plus or minus 10. And then I'm going to add 8 to both sides. So I'm going to get 8 plus or minus 10. Now this is telling me I have two answers, and you have to finish this out because these are just numbers and they're whole numbers, so we can do this. There are two answers here. It's going to be x is equal to 8 plus 10, or x is equal to 8 minus 10. So it's telling me we have two solutions. The first one, when I add those two, I get 18. And when I subtract 10 from 8, I get negative 2. So it's telling me there are two answers, and those would be the answers. Now, keep in mind, you can plug these both back in. If I take 18 and I put 18 in here, 18 minus 8 is 10. 10 squared, 200, or 100, times 2 is 200. And if I put negative 2 in here, negative 2 minus 8 is negative 10. But negative 10 squared is 100. And 100 times 2, that gives you 200. So both answers work. Make sure you check your work, though. This next one, same idea. I want to get the x by itself, so I got to move everything away from there. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add 9. Then I'm going to divide by negative 3. Once you divide by negative 3, you're going to get something that says this. And then you want to take the square root of both sides, making sure you have a plus minus on this one. Then I'm going to keep going. Once I take the square root of the left side, I'm going to get x minus 1 is equal to. Now on the right side, I'm going to have a plus or minus, and I can't reduce 3, but it does have a negative in here, and I have to deal with the negative, and the way we deal with that is to take the negative out by using I. So this is going to be I root 3. Then it's telling me I'm going to add 1. Now, when you add 1 to this side, remember, this is an imaginary or a complex number, and the real part of that number always gets listed first, and the imaginary part always gets listed second. So this is 1 plus or minus I root 3. This is the answer. We could check this, but it would be some serious work. You just hopefully at this point understand that some of these are going to come out as complex numbers. And then we have our last problem. In the last problem, it's a little bit different, but basically the same. I only have one x right here, so I just need to get that x by itself. First thing I want to do, I want to add 1. So it's going to say 2x minus 1 squared over 7 is equal to 7. Then I'm going to multiply both sides by 7 to get rid of the 7 down at the bottom. This is going to say 2x minus 1, all of that is squared, is equal to 49. Then I need to take the square root, and when I do that, I have a plus minus here. That means I'm going to end up with something that says 2x minus 1 is equal to plus or minus, and in this case, 7. Then I need to add 1, so 2x is equal to 1 plus or minus 7. And then it's going to say, once I divide by 2, x is equal to, this is 1 plus or minus 7 over 2. Now, this is not the way you can leave this answer. These are all whole numbers, so we have to do the math here. There are two solutions. The first one is going to say 1 plus 7 over 2. Well, that equals 8 over 2. And if we reduce that down just a little more, we're going to get an answer 4. The second one says x is equal to 1 minus 7 over 2. That makes this negative 6 over 2, which makes this negative 3. So we have two solutions. One is 4, one is negative 3. Maybe write that a little better, or not. There we go. And so we have our two answers. Now, these are whole numbers, so check them. If you put 4 back in here for x, you're going to get 2 times 4, which is 8. 8 minus 1 is equal to 7. 7 squared is 49. 49 divided by 7 is 7, and 7 minus 1 is 6. That works. If I put in a negative 3, 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 6 minus 1 is negative 7. When you square it, you get 49. When you divide by 7, you get 7. And when you subtract 1, you get 6. So those both work. We've checked our work. That's really all there is to today's lesson. Hopefully we understand what's going on here. Anytime you see any of these where you have an equal sign and you only have one x, then all you need to do is get the x by itself. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.